Hey guys, this is Julie from Creatures Pictures, and tonight I'm gonna start a new series that I call Uncut, which is gonna be me trying to see it's already not starting so well. Me trying to not cut the videos that I'm making, and I'm gonna try to talk about subject that I feel are close to my heart, and I'm gonna try to do it without cutting or editing in any type of way what I'm trying to say. And yeah, it's kind of a big challenge for me to do this, so please bear with me, and I hope you enjoy it anyway. And if you do have opinions, of course, you're welcome to share them. Here you go. Yeah, let's go straight to the video. So the first video, I really wanted to talk about something called multi-potentiality, which is, to make it in simple words, if you've never heard of it, it's if you feel like you could do great if you would start a career in many different like fields or skill sets or just completely different industries. And it works for people who like want to be employees or people who feel like the entrepreneurship is for them. It really doesn't matter. It's more as if you see yourself as somebody who has different passions in life, maybe different talents, and you're so unsure of which one is the right one for you that you feel like you've got to try them all. And the problem with that is, since you're so spread out, it doesn't matter how good of a job you're gonna make, people are gonna see you as somebody who's unreliable for some reason, maybe somebody who's not serious enough in their craft, although you could be a person so passionate that you could actually become a professional in each of the branch that you're reflecting on. I don't know if that's really clear. Again, bear with me. Uncut, number one. So I know a few people like that. It could be a trait of being a gifted adult or a high potential person, or it could simply be somebody very, very passionate. And this brings usually a lot of questions and a lot of thinking that might be a little upsetting, or that might be a little confusing for the person who's concerned or others who are viewing the person as it is. So I'm gonna give my personal example of life, so hopefully you'll understand better, and maybe you'll see if you relate to that or not, or if you know somebody who's like that. And if you do, you could maybe send them the video so they feel a little less alone in this boat, because I think it's a lot of people, but it's definitely not everybody. So I cut the video for a few seconds and I just realized that I did not precise what I meant by uncut. That does not mean that I'm not gonna like make different clips while filming. It doesn't mean that I'm not gonna like slightly edit the video for your comfort and like the viewer's comfort. It just means that I'm not gonna edit my speech. If I say something and I mean the thing that I say and doesn't just come out wrong, I will leave it in the video. Because I edit everything that I say a little too much, because I'm somebody who always tries to not offend anyone, I always try to make sure that whatever my words are, they will not hurt anyone or offend anyone, because I don't know, I just don't like hurting people. But I've come to realize that sometimes I like censor my own self so much that a lot of people don't really know me. A lot of people don't really, like, a lot of people that should know me don't know me at all. And I'm not sure if it's just because of that. I think I'm just overall a pretty reserved person because of some things that I've been living in my past, in my childhood. I just don't like to expose myself. And when I say myself, I mean, obviously expose myself all over the internet. But when I say myself, I mean like my thoughts and my feelings, whatever is personal to me. I try to like not expose it at all because I'm just afraid people are going to use it against me. But like that's immature behavior, and I'm trying to just get rid of that. because obviously I want to be genuine, and I want to just present myself, and I want to leave something in this world that's a little more genuine and a little more expressed, if that makes a lot of sense. I hope you're following. If you're watching this, just know I love you just for watching this, okay? Especially if you don't know me in person and you're still watching. I think you're amazing. Okay, so about the multi-potentiality thing, what I wanted to give you as an example is my own life, so maybe you can relate. So I started off as a filmmaker. I knew I wanted to be a film director ever since I was like 7 years old. I've always been watching a lot of movies and series, and I always felt like I would be good at making them. Maybe I came from a wrong perspective when I was a child, but it turned out good in a sense. So my perspective was that I thought the job of a director when I was like 7, okay? So just put things into their context. I thought 7-year-old me that the job of the director was to do everything. And I loved the idea of that. I really did. So I did wanted to like direct actors and do, acting relating things. I also wanted to do costumes and decor and makeup and special effects, and I wanted to just learn it all and do it all. And so, Cecilia, see, for stuff like I'm gonna get interrupted by some of my pets at some point, so a cut is meant to happen, but you know what I mean now by uncut. Cecilia, second call, babe. So I thought, 7-year-old me thought that being a director meant doing a little bit of everything, which is really cute. But that idea never went away from my head. So what happened is that I started writing a lot when I was barely in age of writing, to be honest. I would love to like make up stories and all kinds of things. I always liked that. I always made up stories for some reason. And then growing up, when I was in film school, I wanted to direct, but I started falling in love with film photography, which is lighting, set lighting. And then I was studying screenwriting more than was required by my college, because at first I even went into 2 colleges at the same time, 2 colleges, one for learning French, in order French and communication, which would lead to a master in screenwriting. But I gave that up real quick because filmmaking in the second school was actually taking all my energy. It's just impossible because it's just too much work. But yeah, well, I was able to do filmmaking in 2 different schools. Cecilia, I'm gonna kill her. Okay, fast forward a few years more. So I've been recommended by a few people as a director. Of course, looking like I look, I was not the first call for everyone, you can imagine. 20-year-old me looking about like this, but more ratchet because I was just 20. Trying to direct like a lot of people on a huge set. It did happen, honestly, but it was really hard because I know I'm a good leader and I have good leadership skills, but it was really hard because some people would just project a lot of things onto me, like a lot of their own feelings onto me. A lot of people are sexist and shit did happen. Then I started, when I was like a young filmmaker, I used to make a lot of short films, and I had a lot of friends who were doing horror short films as well, and it was really cool. I'm gonna kill Cecilia, I swear. And so we needed special effects, and we needed FX makeup and set makeup, and I've always been passionate about like beauty and makeup for my own self, like a girl. I'm very much of a girly girl, and I always did that, always. Really passionate about beauty when I was younger. still a little bit. But then that led into me getting a lot into SFX makeup, which I always wanted to learn at some point, ever since I was like 8 years old, and I saw the making of the movie The Exorcist, and I saw how they made that like mannequin that was like doing the 360 with a head and stuff, and like the blood splatters everywhere. It was just so cool, and I always wanted to do that. And so I did that, and then I ended up working a little bit as a makeup artist, a set makeup artist. And somehow I would find way more gigs. More often I would find clients for set makeup or FX makeup than I would for filmmaking, although I'm way more knowledgeable as a filmmaker. But I feel like people feel like I look more like a makeup artist. But yeah, that's the the thing with makeup is that I do love it and I still love doing it, but I could not just do that. It's just too, I would feel like I'm wasting 90% of my potential if I would just do makeup. Be mindful that I'm not saying that the people who do makeup as a living are just like low potential people. I'm absolutely not saying that. What I'm saying is that they might feel fulfilled doing just that for the rest of their life, maybe because they get more inspired than me, maybe they're just more passionate about it than I am. I'm very passionate about it, but it's not just it for me. I need absolutely to learn new stuff all the time, and I need absolutely to have many passions. I don't know why, I'm just wired like that. Sometimes it's really hard for me to explain that to people. People don't get it. I don't know. They're like, oh, you just don't know what you want. You're just not really good at anything because you're not sure. And like, I don't know. I feel like I was good enough to get clients. I was good enough to get awards. But obviously, I just, like, it's me. I just, like, stopped where it could have got really big. And the reason was that I was already learning the next thing. So the thing is that when I had my Airbnb business, I was really, really obsessed with home decor. Well, I've always been obsessed with home decor, but I was really obsessed with it. And I thought that maybe I should go back to college and study to become an interior architect or something like that. And I really like architecture, but I just don't feel like doing the whole college thing for that. But I feel like I could have been good at it, you know? Wanted to study holistic nutrition because I'm a passionate vegan, and I really wanted to help because I've been working for a while about like a documentary. We'll get back to that, but I've been working on producing a vegan documentary, and yeah, I almost wanted to go back to school because I feel like if I do not have some kind of medical degree, people are not going to take me seriously when I say that I've seen people curing the uncurable, something that Western medicine doesn't cure. And I was really passionate about curing people because I think like those are real serious matter subjects. But nobody takes me seriously. Of course, I look like this and I do not have a medical degree. Who's going to take me seriously, right? So it's really sad, but I thought the documentary was like the shortcut. But that's very, very hard to produce. We're still motivated to do it, but it is really, really hard to produce. And I feel a very, very deep respect for anyone who's putting a documentary project together and who especially is doing all the vegan documentaries, especially before being a vegan was cool, because that's, wow, I don't know how those people do that. I like generally, they have all my respect. Especially the people who like edited Earthlings. Like, who did that? Who could sit for months through all this footage and putting them together? That's just, oh my God, like when I think about it, who had the guts to edit that? Who had the sacrifice to edit that? you know, is that as a professional, you just see the behind the scene. You just don't just see like who filmed it. It's just you filmed it, but then you put it together, and those images are gotta be printed in your mind. Like you gotta wake up in the middle of the night screaming because of them. Like I was seriously so admirative, and I wish I could do something like this, but I just somehow feel too little. Like I don't know. Same thing. Yeah, I've been wanting to have a project where I could finance. So I have this project of creating an animal sanctuary, like sort of a park that would also be. Sorry, I got notification. So sort of a park that would also be like educational, but that would also allow to save domestic and wild animals. So yeah, when I was little, I had a phase where I wanted to be a vet, and then I realized I had to perform surgery as a vet, and I was like, nope, I'm done with that. I don't know. I feel like I could have been like an actual doctor for humans, but I could not have been a vet. I cannot. The idea of cutting an animal is just no, I cannot. Just in the film industry itself, I think I've done about every job there could be. I worked on a radio station at some point. I did some acting. I did a lot of directing. I did some producing. I've been a DP. I've been an assistant. I've been a script reviser. I've done a little bit of everything, honestly. And I felt like, you know, I could have led a career in any one of those branches. Of course, I will always feel like a filmmaker. I feel like that's my main quality, but I think like I'm a special one. I'm not like the other guys, obviously. So I'm not even sure some days, like, am I really a filmmaker if I'm not like the other filmmakers? But well, that's just how it is. Yeah, when I'm doing my own like acrylic nails and stuff, I'm thinking like, well, if I would be to pursue this, I would probably be able to like get a job as a like nail technician or something. It just feels like it's impossible to choose because like I'm always learning something new. And sometimes the something new is not a skill related to what I should be studying more, which is my own job, right? Because sometimes you just feel like doing something else because you get bored. And it's often what happens when people are too smart. I'm not saying that about myself, but I'm just saying a lot of people who are too smart, they get bored very easily. Like students in school, they get bored very easily if they're too smart because like the teacher said it once, they got it, and then the teacher said it 15 other times for the other students. And you get bored and you do stupid things. So it's kind of the same thing. And I feel like the good point is that we're moving towards a world where skill sets and the uniqueness of your own skill set becomes more important than a college degree. And it's, well, it depends, of course, which branch. You're not going to be a lawyer or a doctor just because you have skills, you know? But for everything else, or almost everything else, you can somehow find a way to fit into the world with your uniqueness. And I think that's pretty amazing. Your unique skills are gonna somehow bring you somewhere. So that's the hope. That's the don't give up on anything because, and especially don't give up on hope if you feel like that, because the uniqueness is what's gonna bring you somewhere. Oh, I even forgot like half of the stuff that I've been studying in my life, like definitely spirituality. I've been studying spirituality ever since I was like 21 years old. And I found some books in the library I was living nearby. And yeah, ever since then I've been studying different theology, spirituality, religions, and I also really love studying the relation in between like religion and science, because it's super interesting where it starts to merge into one another. I'll definitely be making videos about that in the future, but I just feel like I need some kind of source support, like maybe a documentary. Actually, you probably don't care about hearing all of the skills that I've been learning in my life, but it was to give you an example, and I think you got it. So if you feel the same way, please let me know. I would really love to hear and to meet other people who feel that way, because it's been lonely for me at some point where people just, I was trying to, you know, when you're an artist, there is this thing that sometimes people think it's pride, but it's not. It's like you create some art, but you don't just create it for yourself. You create it as a way of communicating, it as a way of just sharing with others. Like I said, like I'm not really good about like talking about my feelings straight up to the camera, but I'm really good about vehiculating messages through art, and that's why I just shove it in everybody's face. And so when it's time to do like a reel or a resume or a portfolio or whatever, not including everything that I do feels like you're only getting part of my message. And people don't get that. They think that I'm trying to be more than what I am. It is what I am, you know? So I hope you understand, and I hope you don't think that I'm bragging or anything like that, because I'm the opposite of that. It's almost like a cry for help. Like, tell me I'm normal. Tell me I'm not crazy. Tell me it's not in my head. Tell me I'm not pretentious and it is actually a real thing that you feel as well. And that you would like to talk about and share. I just feel like I need friends to talk about that things too. So yeah, I know other people like that. Honestly, I know people who are in very, how do I say that? They're in very serious fields, but on the side they're an artist, because I know so many artists, so that's why. But I also know the opposite. It's like, it's just they know what they want and they know what to focus on, and they're capable of doing that. And I feel like I'm not capable of, it's not that I'm not capable of it, it's that I don't wanna. You know, I'm capable of focusing, obviously, because when I do have a project, I bring it through until the end and I focus every day on it. But somehow, once a project is done, I'm gonna get distracted and I'm gonna move to something else. And I'm glad I'm like that, because I love living like that. I'm not gonna lie. It's just like, that's how I like my life. If my life had to be more boring than that, I think I would just be very depressed. I don't know. Please have thoughts, because I'm rambling at this point and I really want to feel like I'm not alone in this. And hopefully I'm gonna get some response, because if not, it's really gonna feel lonely for me. If you watched up until the end, I love you very, very, very much. And please don't forget to rate and comment and subscribe and follow me on Instagram. I love you so, so much.